Hello, my friends. I'm happy to be back at the latest issue with yourvision.blog. My name is Georg Lanzinger. I'm your host, and today I have a fantastic guest, Daniel Müller. He's the author of the book Web3, The Decentralized Revolution of the Internet. He helps marketing agencies how to make campaigns from the view of a Web3 investor. How do you want to reach the Web3 people? Which chain you should use? How to communicate with them? We're coming back to that with the right communication in Web3. Happy to have you here, Daniel, and please introduce yourself.
Thank you for the invitation. So yes, my name is Daniel Müller. I'm Swiss origin. I lived for 28 years in Austria and moved last October to Cyprus. I'm in Web3 cryptocurrencies since late 2016. Started with Bitcoin, Litecoin, the currencies. And as soon as I understand technology, the blockchain technology, I looked out for other possible applications that can run on the new technologies. I was then by the ICO hype 2017 in the middle of it. Then later the NFTs, of course, the whole NFT space started with virtual worlds, with land plots in Decentralized, in the sandbox, in crypto voxels, now known as voxels. Then the art NFTs, of course, the whole PFP and collectible stuff. And I also looked to sensor resistant websites like Ethereum name service, like unstoppable domains and stuff like that. I invested in several applications, also in NFTs and some DAOs and stuff like that. And I now try to help agencies, marketing agencies, and to show them how the Web3 works. That started with introduce the Web3, the technology, because I think it's not the baddest thing if you, as a marketing agency, talk with your customer that you know how the things work, kind of, not in detail, but you should have a clue how those things work. I help them, as you said, with the communication, where they can find their audience. Maybe it's on Solana, maybe it's on Ethereum, whatever. At the point, I help them by the first steps.
Mhm.
So they learn how Web3 works, how the different applications work, how they have to communicate, and stuff like that. Yeah.
So there is a big difference communicating with the people from Web3 than to traditional people.
Yes, there is one that was the Porsche NFT, the car manufacturer. That was a high quality NFT project. The NFTs itself were high quality. They hired high quality designer and artists, but they mess up the communication. And they thought if they say we are Porsche, the thing is done. So everyone will buy this NFTs, and exactly that's not happened, because the thing is, you may have in real life a perfect high quality product. The point is, this product you can't use in Web3. Simple as that. You can take your 911 Porsche and drive with it in Decentraland or wherever. That won't work. So that means you have to establish your real life brand new in the Web3 sector. And that's the point where the failure starts, at least. And the next thing was, it was really poor communication, because if you like to sell an NFT that costs 0.911 Ethereum. That was about $1,200 at the time. You have to bring information. So that means if you are an investor, you like to know exactly what, where are the benefits if I own such an NFT. That have to be communicated exactly. It have to be communicated with goals are achieved now, or are there any troubles? It takes a little longer, whatever. And all this informations are needed for the investor, because in the first run, the investor, the only possibility to evaluate NFT project is the communication. So if the investor have the feeling that the communication is transparent, it's up to date, and if they say we have, I don't know, a Twitter space at 8 o'clock in the evening, then this Twitter space have to start at 8 o'clock. Okay, so you have first to deliver. If you say you will do something, you have to do it, because, as I said, that's the only in Web3 that you can evaluate the quality of a project. And the higher the quality in the communication, the higher is the possibility that I will buy this NFT if it launches. And that was the other problem with Porsche. The communication was poor. On Discord, I think it's about 2 or 3 announcements before mint date. Okay, and that means
Mm,
that was one announcement in a month, and that's
that's
way
nothing.
too less. So, interested investor or the interested people, they had no possibility on Discord to look how it's developing. Are there things be done? What is done? What is the next step? You have no possibility to find out what they are doing. And therefore, I think it's only about 30% were minted, at least from the whole collection size. And
Yeah,
they have to reduce it from, I think it was 7,500. They wanted to mint, and at least this was 2,600 something
yeah,
NFTs were sold at the end.
yeah. They stops the mint because they have seen it's not successful. We can summarize it. The NFT of Porsche was high quality. Porsche in the real world is high quality, but the lack of communication, that was the reason for the fail in Web3. And that's what you're doing to help agencies not to make the same failure, how they have to communicate in Web3 and with the people in Web3. I like it, how the people communicate in Web3. They're fast, they're quick, they're transparent. That's very important for strategies. And if you're successful in Web3, you will be also successful in the real world. And you help the agencies to be successful. Also, you help them to choose the right blockchain. There are differences in the blockchain. Also, to make a drop with NFTs. Tell us a little bit about the NFT story and how NFTs.
Yeah, as you know, there are meanwhile different niches. We have the art NFTs, we have still the collectibles, the pictures for profiles. We have now kind of gaming NFTs, means in-game items like avatars, like other items, swords, shields, whatever. And then there are coming now the real world assets. So that means that real estate start to be we have the same in the financial markets, where things were tokenized. And basically, these are all NFT in a broader view. So that means the idea and the technology of the NFT is not only this picture for profiles like apes, punks, and whatever, and these art and photo stuff. So meaning that there is also the possibility to bring real life assets, real world assets in an NFT to make them whatever easier to trade, easier to transfer, to bring down the overall costs around it. Yeah, and I think there is many more things to come. We don't know now. At
Yeah.
at least it will take time, and I think there are many NFT projects, real life or digital. They will fail, of course. That's normal. That's trial and error. The things work, they will survive. That's it.
Let's make a quick announcement for your book you have written and Web3, the decentralized revolution on the internet. You will find the link below here. We are also talking about the different things. What is a PFP, the different blockchains. This is very useful for beginners, and please buy the book and you will learn a lot. And you are talking now about NFTs in the real world, like for real estate, and have a look at one of the latest interviews with Jakub Sievers from Gorilla Funds. Here he is talking about NFTs and real estate, which is a perfect combination. It works great. And we have heard the last days, the second German bank got a license for trading on the blockchain. The technology will come, that for sure. Technology is here to stay. It will help a lot. And yeah, we were talking about the NFTs. How did the NFTs evolve? How is the story going on? Do we have any news here?
But since almost 1.5 years ago, we have a kind of NFT on the Bitcoin blockchain, the so-called ordinals. Very interesting because the difference between NFT on, let's take on Ethereum, NFT is at least a receipt on the blockchain. And in this receipt, there is linked external file that can be artwork, that can be a ape, a punk, a whatever. But at least the the file or the artwork is stored outside the blockchain. You only have the receipt of the artwork on the blockchain, and if it's in your wallet, you are the owner of this receipt and therefore the owner of the linked data. And with the Bitcoin ordinals, you have everything on chain. So that means you have really the 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 artwork, whatever it is stored on the Bitcoin blockchain. And that's the big difference between the Bitcoin ordinals and the NFTs, as we know from all the EVM chains like Ethereum, Avalanche, and so on. And that's the big difference. But on the ordinals, they are restricted in the size because the maximum data size in one Bitcoin block is 4 MB. And therefore, if you have an ordinal that uses a whole Bitcoin block, the size is restricted to around 4 MB.
Okay. Or maybe this is also the reason why the Bitcoin maximalists are against the ordinals.
The point is, of course, if the chain wizards, no, the taproot wizards, that's their name. They brought the first ordinal on the Bitcoin blockchain, and that was 4 MB. So means one transaction in one block. And then at the beginning of 2023, there are much more and more and more ordinals. They were inscribed, and therefore the transaction fees skyrocketed. That's definitely the case. Because if you have one, two, or maybe three transactions in one block, yes, of course. So you have more demand than supply. And that's the point where the coin maxis criticize that that's useless. They blockade our network and stuff like that. And there were big discussions. The same appears some month later with the BRC20 token. It's a kind of ERC20 token. Also it means a fungible token on the Bitcoin blockchain. But the problem there is this BRC20 token are built on the ordinal protocol.
Mhm.
So you have the same problem with the size and with the transaction fees. That's it is what it is. And but we also saw that if the hype goes back to normal levels, also the transaction fees are coming down again. So we see it now with the runes protocol
Mhm.
that started at the 20th of April during the last halving. There are also the transaction fees. They skyrocketed it in the first week, but now they are coming down and are almost to the normal levels meanwhile. And of course, we have the discussion again from the big Bitcoin maxis. They say Bitcoin is Bitcoin and we don't need any pictures, profile pictures, whatever on our chain, and we don't need any other coins on our chain. Yeah, but that happens. And I would say some of these experiments will survive and develop, and others will vanish. Simple as that.
So with the runes, they have at the moment a market capitalization of 290 million US dollar. That's huge. Mm, do we need the runes?
That's a good question. I think the idea behind it, at least the runes are also fungible tokens. So like we have on Ethereum, the US dollar coin, or any other coin that runs on the Ethereum or Binance chain, wherever. I think that's not bad at all because with these coins you can generate applications around them, or you can use them to use new applications. So, as there is, Ether is the payment method on the Ethereum blockchain. And if you have other applications that are running on the, we have to say, the best, the most secure, and the most decentralized blockchain, Bitcoin, if you have more applications that are running on that, on the Bitcoin blockchain, in my opinion, it will help to keep Bitcoin the best blockchain we have,
Mhm, mhm.
because the more application are running on this blockchain, the more is it used. That means the miners can gain income and will stay in the Bitcoin blockchain. And the more miners we have in the Bitcoin blockchain, the more secure the whole system is.
So Bitcoin is one of the safest blockchains. They're safe, they're unique, and I fully believe in them. So what are now the runes? Are they fungible tokens, non-fungible tokens? Are they pictures? What can you do with them?
Basically, they are fungible tokens. Okay, maybe back how ordinals, BRC20, and how runes work. But that's the big
Mhm.
difference. The ordinal is at least data connected with a specific Satoshi. Okay, so Satoshi is the Bitcoin cent, if you like to say. And with the ordinal protocol, it's possible to attach to a Satoshi data. Okay, there are problems with the transaction because a normal Bitcoin wallet can't decide which Satoshi will be transferred. So that means you need a Taproot wallet where you can say, okay, now I like to transfer exactly this Satoshi, because only then the attached data will be transferred. And a normal Bitcoin wallet don't look at, you can't decide which Satoshi you like to send. You say you like to send 1 million Satoshi, then you will send 1 million Satoshi, but you can't say which one it is, okay? So that's where the taproot and the ordinals comes in. So the ordinals is data attached to a Satoshi. And the BRC20 fungible tokens, they are built upon, so the attached message to these Satoshis. This message is 1 million of whatever, okay? And the problem there is, if you like to send a BRC20 fungible token, you need 2 transactions. And the next thing is, you can't track them with a Bitcoin Explorer. You need a third party who tracks these BRC20 tokens, okay? And with the Rune protocol, they go back and store the information like a normal Bitcoin. So that means you have, if you send runes, you have one transaction as usual, and you don't need an external entity to track the runes. You can track them directly with a Bitcoin Explorer. This is compatible. That works. So that means that the whole process is much sleeker and uncomplicated. And that's the point why the runes are now so hyped, because they solved the problem with the BRC20 tokens.
That's a very good development on the Bitcoin blockchain. But the runes, they are also called, it's a meme coin. You do with a rune.
Yeah, that's the big question. Now that's absolutely true, there are mostly meme coins. Also, but there Doc to the moon and this to the moon and Satoshi to the moon and whatever. I think it needs some time to develop some applications where you really can use the runes. So that can be maybe a DeFi application that you can, for instance, take your runes as collateral and take a loan of this collateral, or you can lend the runes for someone who like to whatever to do with it. So I think it takes some time until these applications were built around the runes, and now it's pure speculation. It's absolutely
Mhm.
pure speculation, and I think the most of them are just meme coins,
So
and
the
that's in
technology is
the
here.
Hmm?
The technology is here. Now we have
Yeah.
to build the applications
Yes.
around it, and
Right.
then we
Right.
will see
Yes.
what we can do
Yeah.
with it.
That's the same that Casey Rodermore, the inventor of runes and the ordinal protocol, says. With the Rune protocol, I have built a protocol for meme coins for now. That's exactly what he said, because it takes some time to build the applications around the runes. But I think it's a really interesting approach, and it gives one more application and therefore more usability for the Bitcoin blockchain. And I think that's a good thing. The maxis don't think so.
Absolutely. It's a good thing if technology evolves, and this is a calculated risk you're taking when you buy a rune. So it's always a question of the definition and the philosophy. The Bitcoin runes are now here. it's new and the technology is here to stay. The Bitcoin maxis, they say, hey, Bitcoin is only for the payment system. Where do you think it will go on? Where are we evolving now with the Bitcoin blockchain?
As you said, I see there some, I would say, black clouds in the sky because I see it in my Twitter timeline. The Bitcoin maxis, they always hit against the ordinal guys and they don't like the runes because Bitcoin is only Bitcoin and we don't need this other stuff. But in my opinion, they missed the philosophy of Bitcoin. Bitcoin was built to be a hard money in the first one. It's built to keep the governments and third institution outside. They can't manipulate it. And basically, this all is built up on the Austrian School of Economics. That means the libertarian point of view of the economy. So we don't need a state or a government who tell us how we have to do business. So it's the free markets. So if you build something and it won't work, the thing will disappear. And if you try it another time with a other approach, it might succeed and then it's great. But the markets, they regulate themselves. And the same applies to Bitcoin, in my personal view. And now we start seeing that there are a kind of block building. So you have on the one side the Bitcoin maxis. They say, no, we don't need that. We don't want that. That's rubbish. That kills our network and stuff like that. And sometimes I have the feeling that's a kind of religious approach. And in my opinion, they don't respect or maybe they don't see the underlying libertarian point of view of the Bitcoin blockchain. Okay. And now we see that we have the Bitcoin maxis, then we have the ordinal guys, we have the rune guys, and they are building blocks. And I hope that this doesn't lead to any not nice things. So that means that the ordinal guys start to transfer the ordinals maybe on the Litecoin blockchain, because Litecoin is at least a clone from the Bitcoin blockchain. Or maybe they start using Bitcoin Cash or whatever, so all clones from Bitcoin. And the point is, if this happens, the Bitcoin blockchain will be weakened. So there maybe are miners that leave the Bitcoin blockchain and go to Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash or whatever. And I think that's dangerous for the Bitcoin blockchain, because Bitcoin is the only one we have that belongs to no one and therefore to anybody. There is no Bitcoin limited or whatever. It's the most secure, it's the most decentralized network. So I think we should have a look that this network stays like it is or evolves to even better. But if we have this trash talk and block building between the Bitcoin users, I think the only thing that happened is that it weakens the Bitcoin blockchain itself. And
Yeah,
I think that to be avoided, so that don't happen. But we
yeah,
will see how this plays out in the future. But I think that's difficult. That could be
absolutely.
a danger for the Bitcoin blockchain.
And if they are fighting too much internally, the miners, they will not only move away to Litecoin or Bitcoin Cash, There are so many blockchains out there which are good for applications. Polygon, Solana, Algorand, Arbitrum, just to name a few. There are thousands out, and they're also doing a good job. So let's hope the best for the Bitcoin blockchain. And Daniel, now we're coming to the main question. What is your vision with Web3? What is your vision with runes?
Vision with Web3. I see some great developments to bring the Web3 space to the masses, because my personal point of view is the Web3 space now is too focused on technical aspects. So if there are new applications, there is a technical view from the Web3 guys and ladies on this stuff. And the normal people out there, they don't care about technical aspects. If they want to use something, whatever it is it a banking app or whatever, the thing has to be easy to use and it have to work. That's it. And now in the Web3 space, we see developments that you, as a user, you don't know that you are using blockchain technology. So that means if you can reduce the entry hurdles, like self-hosted wallets, hardware wallets, the seed phrases, and all the private keys and the stuff you have to have an eye on it. If you do your self-custody, that's not interesting for the average people out there, and there are really strong developments to make that things easier, that now Web3 applications working like the normal banking app or whatever app, so that everyone can use it. And I think that's the goal. And I see that there are strong developments in this direction, spoken for the whole Web3. And with the runes, we will see the technology is here. It works, as we saw the last 2 weeks, I think. It works. And now we will see what applications will be built around this new technology. And it's really, for me, it's really interesting because it solves some problems we have on other blockchains. We have it now on Bitcoin, and it will be interesting to see what evolves from this new technology.
Absolutely. That's really great. And yeah, technology is here to stay, and it will help us a lot. It's very important to speak in the customer language and not in the tech language
Exactly, yeah.
to lower the entry hurdles. You're absolutely right, Daniel.
Thank you.
Yes.
I hope the others see this also.
Sure. Daniel, thanks a lot. It was a pleasure to have you here. You gave a lot of insights for people who will found their startup, who are interested in Web3 technologies. Please don't forget to click subscribe for the channel. And yeah, thanks a lot, Daniel, to have you here.
You're welcome. Thank you for the invitation.
Bye.
Bye.